Hello, my friends. It is time for my Friday Five. This is a series that I started about a month ago here on my channel where I just like to sit down and kind of give you a little bit of a weekly update. I know a lot of my fellow creators here on the platform have some type of variation of this. For me, what I do is I like to narrow it down to 5 candles that are currently in my burn rotation. Let you guys know how things are going with them. Sometimes they're new fragrances, sometimes they are old loves. But it's just kind of a more chill, relaxed video. It's kind of a little break for me from all of the new, which I will talk about all of that at the end of this video. And like I said, it's a combination video where this is just kind of like our time to sit down and chat about candles. One of the things that I love about this community is usually our shared love for home fragrance. For me personally, that takes place in the form of candles. Unlike a lot of others, I don't do wax melts in my home, not for any other reason other than I never got into them. And at this point, I don't need anything else to start spending money on. So I'm just going to stay in my lane and stay here with candles. In this series, I do also like to maybe give you guys some candle combination suggestions. And then usually I round out the end of this video with kind of maybe some candle news, let you guys know what you might be expecting from my channel moving forward in the next couple of weeks. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. Grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a warm blanket because it's a little bit chilly out this week, even here in Arizona. So yeah, let's just settle right on in and start talking candles, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and start out with a KRINGLE Candle Reserve scent. Now, this was one that I was kind of on the fence about purchasing from their new Valentine's Reserve collection because caramel fragrances can be very hit or miss for me. If you caught my haul video that I did with my husband Cody, what was that? Probably about a week ago now, week and a half ago. Yeah, we were both kind of surprised by this one. So this is the fragrance Caramel Meringues. Fragrance notes on here are caramel, meringue, vanilla, vanilla extract, and sugar. Now, here's the thing about this one, you guys. I don't typically like caramel fragrances with a lot of brands. I would say I usually like the way that Homeworks does caramel, but caramel for me, particularly with KRINGLE in the past, has run very, if it has a lot of like butter note to it, it becomes a little bit too dense and kind of scorched for me. It's too rich. It's not typically a fragrance that I like. This caramel, though, it's funny to me. This to me is not reminding me of like that dense, gooey, buttery caramel. This is very much like a super sweet vanilla. It almost in some ways, I've compared this before, and it sounds weird saying this. It's almost the sweetness of like a bubble gum to me. I think it's that meringue note, right? Because meringues are very like light and airy in terms of like the texture of a meringue. If you've ever had one, you know what I'm talking about. Like not airy, like you bite into them, they tend to be a little bit hard and crunchy, but there's like air pockets in them. And there's something about that is reflected here. Now the caramel in here is more of like a very light caramel note, one that I would get maybe in like, say, like a salted caramel gelato. There's no saltiness. It's definitely very sweet. I've heard from a couple of other people in the fragrance community that this one is almost cloyingly sweet for them. For me, it's not. Now, I will also say though, I have been burning this with windows open most days. So it's not cloyingly sweet to me. I have actually really enjoyed this. Do I want backups of it? No. The funny thing is that I was finding that I was kind of like, what am I going to burn this with? Because again, I get a ton of vanilla in here, but the vanilla is not a creamy vanilla. Again, it's a very, almost like a vanilla extract is what I'm getting in this. I like this, but do you know what I'm pairing this with? Somebody had reached out to me over on Instagram, I think, and I can't remember who it was of you. If it was you, raise your hand in the comments down below. One of you said, does this smell like Bananas Foster to you? And I thought, I put my nose in it, and I was like, I could see where they're going. This is not as heavy, or it doesn't get as scorchy, I would say, as Bananas Foster. But if you have Bananas Foster in your collection, if you like Bananas Foster, pair it with the caramel meringues, because that combination, I had this burning out here in the living room. I had Bananas Foster in my bedroom, and that combo was fantastic. Now, the thing I am going to say with this candle as well as Bananas Foster, put a cap on it at about 3 hours, because if you burn it a little bit longer, something about the fragrance oils with this and Bananas Foster, they start to take on kind of like that like scorchy element, I would say, after the 3 hour mark. More so I get that with Bananas Foster than I do with this one. Now, there's no boozy note. I also feel like this is like a much lighter take on last year's Leprechaun treats in their St. Patrick's Day collection for 2025. Now, I know a lot of people love that fragrance. To me, that came across as like a butterscotch type of fragrance. That's what my nose detected. This is not butterscotch, but this, again, it's the caramel note in here that takes this from being just like your standard vanilla. There's something, it's not dense buttery. It's definitely a sweet caramel. It's hard to explain, but I am going to tell you guys, I have been pleasantly surprised by this. Strength and throw so far, you guys, I'm at about a third of the way down on the burn on this. I will say that the wicks, they're not flamethrowers. They're not super thick wicks, but they do burn slightly hot, and I have been trimming the wicks after each burn. I would say this one is about, for me, the strength is about a 7, but projection has also been pretty good. 7.5, almost 8 for me. Burns really well out here in the open concept. So this has been a really pleasant surprise for me. I would say the only thing that might give people some like, what do I burn this with? You know, maybe this could go with like the new Basket Brigade from the Easter collection. If you like those like denser chocolate notes, maybe I might burn this with ice cream sandwiches, because I do like Bananas Foster with ice cream sandwiches. But if you got this one in and you're wondering what should I pair it with, if you have Bananas Foster and you like that, maybe pair those two together. But overall, you guys, so far I'm getting pretty good performance out of this one. Stay tuned, because I will do dedicated review on that. You guys know I typically try to make sure that I let you guys know every week what I have uploaded my dedicated reviews on under my shorts area in the, on this platform under my channel name. I don't even know. Check the shorts, I guess, which sounds so funny. It's like shorts, like you're wearing shorts. No, the short little kind of like reels style of format. Okay, speaking of candles that I did reviews on, this I actually uploaded now maybe over a week ago. You guys know I took a break from the Friday 5 last week because I had family in town, but I'm back to it this week. But I did upload in the 2 weeks since I have had one of these videos go up. I have uploaded Pistachio Peanut Brittle from Caramel Sundays, a dedicated review on this. This has fragrance notes of candied peanuts, woody vanilla, pistachio, vanilla, brittle. Now, this is one that I was actually kind of on the fence about in the December restock. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I have to have that. But it stayed in stock. And it's funny because when this arrived in my initial box, I opened this and smelled it, and I was like, I really like this. And I went onto the Caramel Sundays website, and they still had the 2-wick and a 4-wick in stock. And you better believe I bought myself a 4-wick of this candle as well. This is beautifully done. It is the pistachio note that Caramel Sundays is well known for, but there is a savory peanut accord in here. Now, it is not peanut butter. I will tell you that the further down that I've gotten in this candle, the longer you burn this fragrance, more of that savory peanut accord starts to come out. It starts to overtake the pistachio note to my nose, but I do still really, really like this one. Yeah, vanilla brittle. I don't get a ton of vanilla, maybe a little bit in here, but this is one of those candles that kind of takes you on a journey the longer that you burn it. It starts out one way, starts out more a little bit pistachio heavy, but the longer that you burn it, I smell more of that peanut accord. And it's funny because the candied peanuts, I think, is listed as the, what would I say, as the, sorry about that, you guys. I'm filming on my phone and Cody is trying to call me while I am filming. But I was going to say, the longer that you burn this one, the peanut note comes out, but the peanut note is listed as a top note. So it's kind of funny. Usually the top notes you smell first upon burning, and then the base notes come out the longer that you burn. So it's all kind of reversed, but I really do like this fragrance. I think that there might be some thought process that they might bring this one back in the fall, because I think that this is one that a lot of people weren't so sure what to think about, and it was a surprise love for a lot of people once they bought it. So there might be demand for it to return in the fall. This to me is definitely more of like a fall winter type of fragrance if you are a seasonal burner. However, somebody recommended, I want to say it was in the KRINGLE Facebook group, burning this scent with jelly donut. Whoever you were, you are a genius. And you guys know I love me my candle combos. This with jelly donut, oh, it's a great combo because you get that sweetness of the like raspberry and blackberry that's in the jelly donut, that filling. But we all know like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you guys, that is not normally something that I would think I would want my house to smell like. But when you put the combination together, it actually smells really good. It's a beautiful balance of sweet and savory. And I really, really like it. So I do know that Caramel Sundays in their March restock is coming out with a fragrance called Pink Pastry, which is like a jelly donut type of scent. But if you have this one in your collection, if you have Jelly Donut from KRINGLE in your collection, try combining them. But a strength and throw on this one is pretty good for me as well in this 2-wick. I actually just lit up my 4-wick last night because I was burning them complimentary. This also burns really nicely with the oat milk and pistachio from Caramel Sundays. And so I was kind of having like a whole house effect going on there. But strength and throw on this one, pretty good. This has been around, again, that 7. I would say it's about a 7 in terms of strength. Projection is quite good as well, usually about an 8. When I burn this in a bedroom, it definitely throws outside of the bedroom. So I have been pretty happy with that. Now let's talk about a fragrance that I showed you guys in my gift gala haul. I actually have 2 gift gala candles in this Friday 5 that I wanted to talk about, but they're different styles of jars. So this is the fragrance Grandma's Kitchen. Now this is in their 2-wick amber vessel. Now here's the thing, you guys. These are a little tricky to find on the Gift Gala website. I know that Amy, my friend over at Beloved Fragrance Finds, she has a really good, I want to say like a good business relationship with Shelby, the owner of Gift Gala. I think we can all say that Amy is the one who kind of put a lot of them onto our radar here in the YouTube community. And she kind of gave the feedback because I think it was Marie over at Meet Miss Marie was the first one to point out, saying like she had some difficulty navigating the website. And I would agree with her. The website is a little bit tricky to try to find like all of the fragrance notes, all of the offerings. It's just, you kind of have to dig around a little bit more. So I will tell you, if you are interested in these 2-wick vessels that are kind of in this amber jar, you need to type in amber jar into the search bar on the website, and it will bring these up. And then there's a drop down menu that'll show you all of the fragrances that it is available in. So this is a 16 ounce, 100% soy wax candle. Like I said, Gift Gala is a new to me brand. They are a small business based out of Texas. And you guys, I have been burning this. I've been burning this for a couple of days now. The fragrance notes here are warm, buttery strudels wrapped with cinnamon and sugar. And you guys, I love this scent. Now, I will say you have to be a type of person who loves kind of like spicy spice cake. You have to like this type of thing, right? If you don't like cinnamon sugar types of fragrances, this ain't going to be your jam. You're probably not even going to look at it. Is this completely like new and redefining the wheel? No. Is it done very, very well? Yes. This is very homey, nostalgic. I will tell you, the fragrance that this actually reminds me quite a bit of is Caramel Sunday's Coffin Cake, which you guys know I loved that scent last year. This is very much in that wheelhouse. It's mainly that cinnamon sugar, but there is a little bit of a savory note in here from like a pastry. You don't get a ton of it, but you get a little bit of it. It does keep this from just being a straight up cinnamon sugar spice type of scent. There is a little bit of a savory accord in this that you would equate with like a pastry. It is very well done. Now I'm going to tell you guys, I am about, maybe a third of the way through the wax on this one. And I've been burning this out here in my open concept. Strength and throw on this is very, very good. Now I am also going to give the caveat that most cinnamon sugar types of fragrances perform quite well in my home. That is a fragrance note that for whatever reason usually does not disappoint. So maybe that's why I gravitate towards it. But yeah, this one is very strong for me. I'm going to give strength on this one probably 8.5. The throw is about a 9 for me, just out of this little 2-wick. So I've really enjoyed this fragrance. I know that Amy did a refill of the like the dough bowl refill. She had a video on how to do that. That filled up like she sells like these refills that would fit into a vessel like this, the 22-ounce vessel. So this is a little bit less. I want to say that these retail for about $28. A lot of my friends have affiliate codes with Gift Gala. I do not have one, but yeah, I really, really enjoy this fragrance. This is one that, again, is it anything so new to me? No, but is it one that I would repurchase in the future? Yes, I would. I do really, really enjoy this fragrance. So definitely 2 thumbs up on this Grandma's Kitchen. Now, while we are talking about Gift Gala, another fragrance that I believe I'm filming this a little bit out of order from how I am filming things and getting them ready to put up this week. But I believe that I will have a dedicated review up on this fragrance in my shorts format as well. This is the fragrance Warm Mittens. This was part of the winter lineup over at Gift Gala. The fragrance notes are nutmeg, cinnamon, and oat milk. And here's the thing, you guys, this is just a nice, it sounds funny, creamy, slightly spiced, like vanilla type of fragrance. I get a little bit of nutmeg in here. The spice in here is definitely more of a nutmeg than it is a cinnamon. This paired with that Grandma's Kitchen, like just give you all of the cozy, warm. If you are somebody who loves those cozy, warm gourmands, no matter what time of year, truthfully, you guys, this fragrance combination is something that my mom would have really, really loved. I think of my mom when I think of this because one of her favorite fragrances, and it's not the same scent, but my mom always loved Yankee Candle's Home Sweet Home in the fall. And while that's a very different fragrance than this, she liked like kind of those warm, cozy, spicy gourmand fragrances. And I know that she would have loved this kind of candle combination. This complements a lot of other candles, particularly again, if you like the spicy types of things. Now, this does differ, I would say, from say, like somebody might say, like, okay, so there's oat milk notes in oat milk and pistachio from Caramel Sundays. How do they differ? Oat milk and pistachio from Caramel Sundays definitely has a pistachio note in it that is not present in this one. They both have those creamy oat milk type of aspects to it. Oat milk and pistachio has a little bit more of a touch of cinnamon in it, whereas this is more nutmeg to my nose. They're both versatile, creamy type of fragrances. So if you like those as just overall fragrances in your home, or you like them to enhance other candles in your collection. But this one I would highly recommend. Now, I will say that the performance on this one, the strength and throw, again, is not as strong as Grandma's Kitchen for me. I would give this one probably about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. But it's still good, you know. And again, I've kind of taken to burning this one in my bedrooms as a complementary scent to a lot of other candles in my collection. I can burn this with oat milk and pistachio, Grandma's Kitchen. I've also been burning this. I was burning it with KRINGLE candles, Cozy and Warm. Trying to think, what were some other ones? Carrot cake, you can burn this with any kind of carrot cake type of fragrance. You can see where I'm going. It's a pretty versatile type of scent, but really nice for colder months. This is one that, again, I'm not going to be clamoring and rushing out to buy it again, but if she brings it back, I think it's still available on the website, but if this is one that she keeps around in her collection, I could definitely see myself wanting to get this again, just again, because of its versatility. Now, while we are talking about Gift Gala really quickly, before I get into my 5th and final candle, I did want to let you guys know, Amy and I were talking about this, and I'm sure that she has probably touched on this a little bit. But when I did my Gift Gala haul, I shared with you guys the Pear Blossom and Cream candle. There's been a little bit of chatter about that one. You guys, I ended up decluttering it. I did not like the way that it smelled on burn. Something about it turned very sour to me, and it was not my jam at all. I actually passed it along to Amy. Amy also has discovered that it's not really for her. There have been some puny wick issues. I think, again, I was talking, or not talking, I was watching Marie's video, Meet Miss Marie, another creator here on YouTube. She did a dedicated review on that, and that was actually a very, very good review. And she talked about how She was having some wick issues with it, a lot of babysitting of that candle. Mine as well had very, very low, the wicks were trimmed very, very low before I initially lit it. And it had difficulty pulling out. And again, I guess like whatever it was, when it was burning, it just did not smell right. Now, two things here. If you had that experience with that candle, Shelby, the owner of Gift Gala, has asked that you please reach out to her so that way she can go ahead and try to make things right. I think that she has issued like a store credit to anybody who might might want to do that if you've had issues with the wicks. I know that Amy is still burning it to try to give her that feedback, so that way they can try to, make corrections. And truthfully, you guys, that can happen to any candle brand because you guys know a couple of weeks ago, I talked about either in an empties and also maybe on my Friday 5, I had a lemon sugar marshmallow from KRINGLE, which is a much larger brand than some of these smaller business owned type of businesses. I had a lemon sugar marshmallow that had the exact same experience. I lit it and it like put itself out with the wicks. There were some wick issues going on. And then once I did get it burning, it did not smell right. It smelled kind of sour and gross. And then I said, well, once I put it in the candle crock, I really, really enjoyed the fragrance. So I do know that over the weekend, McKenna was also having some issues with the wicks on that pear blossom and cream. And she then put it under a candle lamp and said that it smelled much better. So sometimes it's the wicks mixed with the fragrance blend that just something, I don't know if it's just that the wicks aren't burning hot enough or maybe taking a flame to certain fragrance oils. It hits the nose a certain type of way. So I would say that if you have that candle in your collection and it's not what you want it to be, please reach out to Gift Gala. I think she prefers mainly through DM over on Instagram. Reach out to her that way so that way she can go ahead and try to make it right for you guys. But then also if you're maybe wanting to like salvage it and see if it can be saved, if you have a candle crock or a lamp, maybe try that to see if the fragrance smells a little bit more appealing or appetizing to your nose. So wanted to give you guys that update. Okay, last candle that I wanted to share with you guys. This is one of the new country candle crossovers into the KRINGLE lineup. I know that a lot of people have loved this fragrance. This is such a beautiful springtime label. Again, if you caught my haul video that I did with my husband Cody, you will know that this was his favorite fragrance, and it is the scent Country Love. Country Love has fragrance notes of floral, green, herbs, rose, and musk. I'm going to tell you guys, the floral that I think that I'm getting in here is hyacinth. I think that that's the floral that I'm picking up here, but it's beautifully balanced with a green note. Yeah, there's something about this that I really, really enjoy. It's a green type of floral. I don't detect a lot of rose or musk in here, so don't let that scare you off. Herbs. It's just and maybe I'm thinking hyacinth or no, not hyacinth. Sorry, hydrangea. It's more of like a hydrangea, not hyacinth. Get my H flowers mixed up, which truthfully, you guys, I'm not even a great botanist. I don't always know all of my flowers. There's certain flower notes like florals I know, rose, lilac. But yeah, this one, Country Love, it is hydrangea, not hyacinth that I am smelling. Yeah, it's very pretty. It's more green, I would say. So if you're somebody who likes a more green floral, then you might want to check this one out. But again, I know a lot of people really loved this in the country lineup. Now, here's the thing about this scent. First burn on this was very, very strong for me. However, I did unfortunately trim the wicks a little bit too short. Truthfully, I probably should have just let them be. And after that, it had some struggles pulling out. My wicks kind of had some issues. Again, that was my error. I did trim those wicks a little bit too short. And so I did end up dumping some wax, and then it did correct itself after that. I will say that this one, strength of this candle is probably around, I would give the strength of this one probably about a 6.5, 7. The throw is quite well when the wicks are doing well, right? The throw, again, from my little quilt rack over here on the wall, was probably a good 8. I would say it definitely filled up my open concept. But I am going to tell you the strength, even though I'm saying it's a 6.5, 7, I actually think that that's perfect because this is a fragrance. Green notes for me, if they are too strong, they're headache inducing. And so I want you to understand that the strength of this, it's definitely noticeable. You do notice that there is a candle burning, again, from different areas of the house, but it's not going to be so strong that I feel like it's going to give people who might be sensitive to a floral or a green note a headache, which is perfect, right? You don't want things to be so strong. Sometimes, and I might be, I know that I'm not the only one in the community who thinks this way, but I think sometimes different fragrance notes, the strength of them can be very nuanced. Fragrances that are too strong, like for me personally, a rose scent that is like a 9 in terms of strength is going to automatically be headache inducing, and it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for me. That is for me personally. And so I am always well aware that like certain fragrances don't all need to be a 9 or a 10 in terms of the strength. They don't all need to be powerhouses, because if they're super, super strong, it actually takes away the beauty of the complexity of that fragrance, I guess. That's my opinion. You can disagree. That's totally fine. In the end, I mean, I always want to be able to smell my fragrances, and that's what I'm saying here. You smell it, but if you're expecting a floral that is just going to punch you in the face, which I don't know many people who want florals that punch them in the face, maybe you do, then you might want a little bit more from this. But I actually don't think so. I think that this is very, very well done. It's beautifully beautifully put together. So Country Love, I am having a good experience on this one. I will make sure to get a dedicated review up on it when I get to that halfway point. I'm thinking probably next week I will be able to get around to a dedicated review on that one. As for this week, I think the only candles that I got dedicated reviews done for, like I said, were Mittens, and then I'm also, I believe, the frosted carrot cake from that candle place. I know that I talked about that, I believe, in my last Friday 5, which went up 2 weeks ago. That I made sure to do a little like dedicated short on. So if you want more information about that one, spoiler alert, it's a really good carrot cake scent. You might want to go ahead and check that out. So that is it for the 5 candles that I burned. Now let's go ahead and talk about maybe some candle news, or maybe kind of ties in with what to expect from my channel within the next couple of weeks. So at the time that I am filming this, it has not arrived yet, but yes, I am receiving the PR for KRINGLE's spring and summer launch, as well as their new spring reserve lineup. So those are 12 candles that are going to be launching on, I believe it's March 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are sending that PR in 2 separate boxes. So I believe the spring and summer one is going to arrive first. When we got word about this PR coming down the pipeline, our contact had said that these reserve candles were either still in the process of being poured or they were curing, so they weren't yet ready to be sent out. So, you know, I think the reserve candles, a lot of us ambassadors will probably be getting that PR closer to the launch date. But a lot of ambassadors who are receiving PR from KRINGLE are getting that this week. And maybe, I know I did a video on this a couple of weeks, or not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of years ago now at this point, 2 years ago. In case you guys are new to KRINGLE, or you're new to maybe like the candle community on YouTube or Instagram, if you guys are ever curious about when you see some ambassadors get PR from KRINGLE, I'm not letting out any secrets here. KRINGLE is very, very transparent about how they operate. So if you're ever curious as to why some ambassadors seem to always get PR, and then there are other ambassadors who seem to get it a little bit more sparingly, the reason is because KRINGLE, how they send out PR with their collections, they usually send PR out to 10 ambassadors for each launch. And what it is that 5 of those ambassadors those are the top 5 code earners. So like there's 5 ambassadors who their code is used the most when it comes to launches. Now, I don't know if they evaluate that with every launch, or if it's like every 3 months, like who they see were like the top code earners. So those 5 automatically get the PR. The other 5 are drawn from like a lottery system. So say, for example, there are, I think that there are around 40 Kringle candle ambassadors. Don't quote me on that, but let's just say that there's 40 Kringle ambassadors. There's the top five code earners, code users. I don't even know. Like, we'll just say the top 5 earners, they are deducted from that 40. Then the other 35 ambassadors are put into a raffle and they draw 5 names from that, and then the PR is sent to those 5 ambassadors. Then when the next launch comes around, they once again look to see who are the top 5 code earners, take those 5 and set them apart. But now for the raffle, they also removed the 5 names of the people who were kind of randomly drawn. So now there's a pool of 30 that they're pulling 5 ambassadors' names from. And then they keep doing that until everybody has received some type of PR throughout the year, and then it resets all over again. So I don't know if that helped to explain, but that way you guys kind of know that that's how their program works. So again, I do really, really appreciate when you guys do use my code, because it does keep that PR coming, and it helps me to be able to give you guys my thoughts as to whether or not I think you should buy it. And truthfully, you guys, I know that there's sometimes a stigma that, like, if you receive PR that somehow you can't give honest thoughts. Truthfully, that is not at all how it works. There have been several times that I have said on my channel, like, I received this in PR. I don't like it. It's not burning well for me. I don't like the fragrance. It's smelling scorched, whatnot. And then also, I will give credit where credit is due. But yeah, and I know that most of my fellow ambassadors who get PR from Kringle, they will also oftentimes say the same thing. So Kringle has always been very, very transparent, and it's one of the reasons why I like being affiliated with them, is because they really appreciate that honest feedback. So all of that little tangent to say that PR is on its way to me. I hope to have a video up this weekend on at least the first 6 candles that are going to be in the spring summer launch, and then there will be a follow-up video for the reserves. That also ties into what I also wanted to touch on, you guys, is that we are in a season of a lot of new stuff, right? Because we're getting ready to launch into spring and summer. This is with all of the brands. So please just be aware that on my channel over the next couple of weeks, it might be a little bit haul heavy. I did place an order with the Gift Gala for their Easter collection, so that order will probably be shipping out this weekend to me. Let's see, we've got Kringle. I did purchase from the Kringle Easter collection, and I did, throw in some other fun stuff, so I'm going to be having a haul to share with you guys. So I did want to let you guys know that my channel is not all hauls, by the way. It just happens to be that this is the time of year where there's just a bunch of new releases. And truthfully, you guys, time is of the essence when it comes to a lot of the new stuff that we're getting in, right? Like, if I post about Kringle spring and summer, on March 10th, the moment has kind of passed, right? So I have to be a little bit more, I have to be a little bit strategic in when I'm posting a lot of this type of stuff. But I did want to let you guys know that I have a bunch of other things that I want to film and share with you guys. I have a bunch of fun video ideas that I would say probably after like mid-March, like I would say after early March, I'm going to be able to have a little bit more freedom to do those videos for you guys. I know a lot of you guys have reached out to me in my DMs, or I've seen it in like the Kringle Facebook group or something. They're like, Katie, we love your candle combos. Like, can you do some videos where you give suggestions for candle combos? So I'm definitely like working on a video for that. Just a bunch of different like fun things that I am wanting to share with you guys, share with you candles I've decluttered, things I didn't like, also maybe like a top 10 from Caramel Sundays. So again, I have a lot of other fun stuff that I am wanting to share with you guys. So just be patient with me, please, over the next couple of weeks, because I am trying to share a lot of the new that has just recently dropped for all of you guys. But once we get past that, I feel like I'll be able to have a little bit more freedom to share some other content that is not so haul heavy. So anyways, you guys, I think that is it for this candle chat. Last and certainly not least, a bunch of you guys met my daughter Paisley in my gift gala video. And even though I'm pre-filming this a couple of days ahead of time, Friday the 20th, which is the day that I am uploading this, is her 17th birthday. Hard to believe. I actually had her on a Friday too, so it's kind of funny. So I've got one more year of my child legally being a minor, and then she's off into the big wide world, and she's been a tremendous joy to raise. So anyways, we're probably tonight going to be having some type of birthday celebrations for her. So if you want to drop her a happy birthday comment, I will make sure it gets passed along. So I feel like this video has lingered on long enough. Again, if you like this one, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider hyping it, whatever that means, here on YouTube. I'm an amazing YouTube creator who really knows all of the ins and outs of what that button's supposed to be. But feel free to hype it, subscribe if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.